Growing this business, scaling to £100,000 a month. It was quite a long amount of time that I'd spent on those conversations, like 10 hours of calls. And I don't have a team, by the way, it's just me that does this. I will do a full breakdown of what I do in my webinars to get people to show up, number one. Good morning guys, welcome back to another video. We are at Wednesday morning and I'm on the way to the gym, and in this video what I want to talk to you about is basically an update on the last week of growing this business. Now it's a little series this is turning into, the scaling to £100,000 a month. When are we going to get there? Not a clue, but we are growing every single month at the moment, and the next target is getting the SaaS company, the consulting business, that combination to a consistent £35,000 a month. That's the next target that we're working towards. And I thought I'd kind of give you a little bit of an update on last week, as I promised, around the webinar that we ran, how we got the people there, what the results were, and then I want to talk you through some of the mindset things that I'm working on at the moment to kind of really fix my mentality around growth and slow growth because unfortunately with these things, the faster that you want to go, the slower that it ends up being, is what I've found. Now I'll share with you more about that at the end of this video because it's really important, and actually the things that I've realized have changed the game for me big time, like completely changed the game. So to talk about the campaign that we ran last week, I said that every couple of weeks we run a live workshop, a live webinar campaign. Been doing it for a number of years, and the one that I ran, it was a week ago now, we didn't have a huge registration list from it, so we used the email list as I mentioned in my last video to promote. We sent around about 4 emails out promoting it. We had an influx of direct messages that went out, again by my activity on my LinkedIn account, so we're only using my LinkedIn account right now. We had around about, I think it was about 900 messages in the end that went out, and overall we had around about 140 registrations, so pretty good overall from a registration point of view. Bear in mind, we didn't do anything else, we didn't run ads, didn't do anything, it was all organic, all from the existing list. And from that workshop, it was a LinkedIn workshop that I ran, so we're talking all about the platform, what I love about it, what I hate about it, and how we capitalize on it, why I think other people should take a look at it. I then offered the chance for people to speak with me and then incentivize people. It was a free strategy call that they booked. I spoke about the offer at the end of it. We had around about 50-ish people that were on the call, and from that 50 or 60 we had 20 that booked a call with me, so a 40-ish% to call booking. I will do, if you find it useful, I will happily just hit the like button on this video if you're going to find this useful, and I'll do it. I will do, if we can get 10 likes, like minimum 10 likes on this video, I will do a full breakdown of what I do in my webinars to get people to show up, number one, and then also how do I get people to book in calls, because 40% is kind of unheard of, but there are things that we do inside those presentations which really maximize the call booking. And then we had a 97% show up rate to those calls as well, so 20 odd calls booked. And from that, so far we have had, I think it's 6 people have taken up our £1,500 a year offer, which is working one-to-one with me, which has been really nice. And I've got about 7 that are looking at joining in September because of August and them being away on holiday. Now with that, pretty strong. Pipeline's been built, lots of great conversations, a few people that aren't right for it, which is totally fine. But overall there, we do everything on monthly subscriptions. That's been something that's been really important. So £150 a month subscriptions is what we've done over 12 months. At the end of the 12 months, the LTV doesn't stop there, so the lifetime value doesn't stop there because it is a subscription, so it will roll on. So once we get to the end of the year, we've got people that are still on our subscription at £150 from 4 years ago. So people do still want to work with us at that level for continuous periods of time, which is fantastic, because that just means it grows and grows. So overall there, pretty strong for a workshop. Now my areas of weakness, I definitely need to get more registrations in, because if the conversion's that high, why not? Capacity, doing those calls. So I did 20 calls, and again we had 19 of them show up or something like that. So it was quite a long amount of time that I'd spent on those conversations, like 10 hours of calls. And I don't have a team, by the way, it's just me that does this. So a lot of time that I put into that, trying to get people to understand more about what it is that we're doing, and to then take the action with it. So overall pretty strong. Now, because I'm having a baby in the next few weeks, so probably either the next video after that, I'll probably be talking about the fact that we've got a little one due, a little one that's arrived, and I've got a bit of paternity leave. I'm now planning out the next workshop. So I've got to think about, I've given myself enough promotional notice, so I want the same sort of frequency of emails that go out, 4 to 5 emails that go out. I also want to make sure that my direct messages are set up in my absence, so they will be set up to go out on my LinkedIn account again to another set of probably around 800 to 1,000 people, probably like to lengthen out the promotional time. So rather than it being a blitz in a week and only giving people a week's notice, probably push that to 3 weeks, I reckon, to give myself that little bit more time. And then from there, it's about trying to get to that 150, 200 registration mark, I think, purely because what I can't do is take on a huge amount of calls instantly because of capacity again. So look, I may look at getting a salesperson in. That's probably one of the next things that we're going to be looking at, getting a salesperson in to help with some of these calls. But basically for every 50 or 60 people that I get to a webinar, we're getting between 10 on a bad one and 20 on a good one call bookings in. That's a lot to try and handle, so you've got to try and balance that out. So for me, what I've got to now look at, especially with baby due, is what I mentioned at the beginning of this video, which is the mindset piece. And one of the biggest problems I think so many people have is the delayed gratification of everything. So when you first start a consulting software business that I've started, and I work with hundreds of other people like me, helping them do the same thing that I have, we have a little bit of a false expectation that is typically set right at the beginning. And the false expectation is that building a business is relatively simple. And that is set not from listening to other people, but from typically a lot of our own experiences. So when you're looking to start a business, you have probably had a lot of experience building up a network of people, right? And that's just people that know who you are and what it is that you do. And that is done from your careers. So like a lot of people have had 10, 15 year careers, right? They've kind of been through before they start their consulting business. And as a result of that, they have built up lots of relationships, not for their business, but just in general. So when they've been working, they've built relationships up. When they've been out meeting people, they've built their relationships up. And with no motive, nothing other than I just want to be a decent person, and I realised that actually getting to know people is just part of the job. And so what happens is when you then go out there after doing that for 10, 15 years of maybe having a career, once you've done that, where you launch what it is that you do, so you go and tell everybody that you're now doing this stuff, and because of it, people are like, oh, that's really interesting, I really want to work with you. And so then you have a couple of conversations, people then buy your offer, whatever it is that you're doing, and you go, oh, this is relatively straightforward, this is easy. I just put a post out there on LinkedIn, change my job to say that I'm now got a new business and people want to work with me. And what we fail to see is all of the legwork and all of the stuff that you have done prior to that to actually build up your credibility and build up the relationships with people that you have met, spent time with, had conversations with. And then what happens is where you have then, because you start doing some of your own business activity, you have some revenue come in, what then happens is you fail to see that all of that effort needs to carry on, and it actually needs to double and it needs to triple in terms of the volume that you're doing, because you'll very, very quickly exhaust that audience. And if you don't replace it, you then get to the point where it then drops off. And this is what I see in so many consulting businesses at the moment, is people that are struggling because they don't realize that right at the beginning when it was easy because of all the work that they've done prior to it. And so what therefore do we need to do? For me, when it comes to taking this from, like, again, I mentioned in my first video, 20-ish grand a month that this business does in the SaaS sort of consulting area, from that 20 grand a month to get it to 100, I have got to look at the volume of which the eyeballs are on this business, because people can know who I am, they can know that the business exists, but if they don't understand the impact that it has, etc., then unfortunately it's never going to convert. It's one thing having eyeballs, but if you can't convert the attention, then it's not going to do anything for you. And this is what I spend so much of my time thinking about, because the work that I do now will not have a real impact until October, November, December. And that is where, it's not that long of a period of time to wait, but that is where the delayed gratification has to come in. Because the reason why my August is always so busy, like I had this plan in my head that we knew when our baby was going to be due. I knew that September, like the end of August to the beginning of September, was going to be a period where I'm going to want a few weeks off. I needed to make sure that that beginning of August was that mental and that profitable that I can then go, well, I've done all my work for August now, I can have a few weeks off, no problem at all. It's like I've had to set that that up. I can't just walk away from this business. It needs action, it needs activity, because the growth, again, if I stop, that then affects later on in the year, and I don't want that. I don't need to have that happen as long as I'm organised enough. And so I worked backwards. In March and April, I realised that if I go heavy on my content creation, my brand awareness, my public speaking, my advertising, that would then enable August to be very, very stable and busy. And it has done. Like, it happens all the time. I mentioned it in my last video, happens all the time. But the thing that we've got to realise is that this effort and this work takes a bit of time to get going. And it's a bit like the gym, as what I've always looked at it as. It's a great analogy to use. In my first video of this, I was about 1.5 kilos heavier. Now, I don't know if you do kilos or not, but I was about 1.5 kilos heavier. And that's because since I finished the marathon in April, around the London Marathon in April, kind of just not really giving a crap about fitness, nutrition. I got a bit burnt out with it, didn't want to do it. And gradually, slowly but surely, or very, very quickly actually, I've put on weight. And it's been something that I've then been really noticing in the last few weeks. I'm like, oh, feeling a bit sluggish. And so I've now been doing focusing for about 3.5 weeks now, and I've lost like a couple of kilos, which has been really, really good. But that doesn't happen straight away. I've had to be very, very conscious with my activity. Like, I went from not tracking anything and not training at all to tracking my calories, understanding what I'm eating and what I'm putting into my body again, like tiniest of degrees of detail. I've then been looking at my workouts and the way that I want to try and, I got a bit too skinny last time, so I want to try and hold more of my muscle mass this time around. So I'm doing a lot more of my resistance training, my weight training to hold on to that, and less of my cardio. So I'm being a lot more focused, and therefore weight loss has been slightly slower, but I'm feeling better for it. I'm not feeling hungry all the time, and I've got something that's working for me, and I've been consistent at it now for 3.5 weeks. That 3.5 weeks has given me some form of gratification, but I'm not going to get the real reward of this until probably October, November. I think for this, you look at fitness and it's relatively easy to understand. You eat less, you move more, you lift heavier, you run further, right? Typically, like, you look at that, you follow those rules for long enough, you will get into some pretty decent condition. That is something that if you're disciplined enough, you can stay consistent for. You can get results from it. When you look at your business though, I think business is exactly the same, but just a little bit more misunderstood, because people see all of these people online and they just think that it's easy, and it's not easy, right? And they don't actually understand what the equivalent of tracking your calories and trying to understand what you're putting into your body and running more, lifting heavier, doing your workout plans. People don't understand the equivalent of that to their business, and so they don't know what to do consistently for long enough to be able to grow it. And that's what I want to talk to you about in all of these videos moving forward. So if you are listening right now and you're finding this stuff interesting at all, I would love it if we could try and get to 2,000 subscribers. That's my goal with this, and these videos are being watched by a tiny amount of people, but maybe when this has been going for long enough and I'm consistent enough with it, it will grow. So if you could hit that subscribe button for me, because what I'm going to do, if you are interested in it, you will get the reminders for this and you'll get the notifications for it, so it actually shows up in your newsfeed, is break down what those things are. So from a marketing point of view, what are the equivalents to tracking your calories and actually understanding the activities that you need to do to move? What is it you need to do? The same for sales, the same for finance, the same for operations, and the same for product. The reason why people find it so hard is because they don't look into these things in enough detail, and therefore they don't know what to track. They get overwhelmed, they give up, and they go back day to day to doing what they've always done, which is the simple things that they know how to do. And this is where people get stuck. It's where I've got stuck, and it's what I am going through right now, which is enabling us to grow so consistently over and over again. Like, I have no doubt that this business has been hitting 20 grand a month for ages consistently. We'll have an even better month, and then it'll come back down to 20 again. We'll have an even better month, it comes back down to 20 again. The reason why that baseline of 20 never drops is because of the contracted revenue in there that we're always building in, and we're looking at stacking and improving, and we're getting all the feedback around what people love about our product, what people hate about our product, to keep growing it. That will hit 25 grand. That will then hit 30 grand. That will then hit 35 grand. Now it's got the focus on it. Previously, I haven't put the focus on it because I've had other priorities and other things that we've been looking at and focusing in on to be able to build my brand faster, etc., etc. Now we've got the focus in on that monthly recurring revenue for that SAFT product, and also then the consulting business as well, because it's a lot more structured in my delivery. Like today, I've got a day of delivery around webinars and a funnel build. Like, it is structured, it is simple to deliver, it's rinse and repeat, and then we improve and we go again. And I have those sessions locked in with anybody that I work with as we progress. But you have got to figure out, if you want to win and you want to grow consistently, you've got to figure out the equivalent to calorie counting and fitness and working out for your business. Because if I wanted to maintain muscle mass, right, and all I did was go run on the treadmill, right, I'm not going to get the muscle mass that I want. You've got to figure out the activity that matches your ambition and your target. And if you don't do that, it will be one of the biggest reasons why you're stuck right now. You're doing the wrong activity for the wrong goal. And working it out isn't straightforward. It takes time to do. So if you're wanting to know what goes in my mind with this stuff, then follow along, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and also in the comment section, tell me what it is that you do. I'm loving to like network with so many people right now. I've built my businesses from telling people what I do. So if you want your business to grow, tell people what you do in the comment section, because these might not have huge amounts of views now, but I promise you they will do. I am driven with this, and I'm going to drive my email list to this. I want people to understand what it takes, because there's so many people that glorify and make growing a business sound so easy, and if you just click these buttons it works. It's not that. And I can't see many people sharing the day-to-day of actually what it takes. They'll show you the lovely parts to it, but they don't talk to you about in enough detail like the real specifics of what it takes to grow. I'm going to take you through my LinkedIn account, I'm going to take you through my email marketing, I'm going to take you through everything so you can see it, so you can understand what makes it work. And when you see it and implement it in your own way, you will see the same results that I do. All right guys, I'm going to finish off this pre-workout and I'm going to go get in the gym. I've got 45 minutes of training to do, and then probably about a 20-minute cardio session, and then I am in my one-to-one day all days. So come and follow me along on Instagram. If you follow me, Chris Taylor Online on Instagram, and you'll see all my day-to-day, my stories and stuff. I kind of share different bits and pieces of what I do. Have a great day, and I'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.